Massive sheet of snow slid down the mountain in bright sunlight, leaving onlookers frozen in shock.
Putain, je flippe grave là. Oh putain. Regarde mon frère ce qui se passe. Avalanche. Oh la con de sa grand-mère. Je sais pas si tu le verras en vidéo ce que ça donne. Oh. Wow.
Another fast-moving car struck a parked vehicle, forcing a man behind it to flee for his life as the front was destroyed. Man tossed an object into a roadside container, and it erupted, coating the street in a cloud of white residue. High-speed trucks smashed into a building, crushing its front and roof while the structure took heavy damage. Speeding vehicle slammed into a parked car, tearing up its rear as pedestrians stared in disbelief. Wall frame dropped onto a child eating below, sending parents into panic as the room fell silent. Tornado formed beside a field and lifted chairs into the air while people grabbed them to keep from being swept away. Larger tornado rose from open land, pulling dust upward as walkers ran for safety. Violent wind gusts snatched tables and chairs from outside a building and hurled them away. Heavy snow slid off a building roof and crashed down beside stunned bystanders. Tractor reared up on its front wheels, startling the driver until two men helped bring it back under control. Tree collapsed onto a street under powerful wind, narrowly missing parked cars. Multiple trees crashed into a rain-soaked parking lot as the storm intensified. Mountain dust lifted into the air and shimmered under sunlight, revealing shifting wind currents. Two birds chased each other across the sky in a fast aerial duel.
Get him!
Graduation cap thrown skyward dropped straight back onto its owner's head, creating a perfect comic moment. Low cloud drifted across an open field, rolling like fog along the ground. Unusual glowing insects clustered on a jungle tree, creating a natural light display. Snow rushed down the mountainside towards spectators in a roaring white wave. Thick avalanche clouds swallowed the valley, cutting visibility to zero in seconds. Night avalanche buried the area under snow and fog like powder clouds. Giant dust cloud rolled over a sandy plain, blocking out the sun. Wildfire spread through forested land while wind carried thick smoke into the sky. Car drove through burning woodland with almost no visibility, escaping through smoke and flame. Another powerful snowslide thundered down a white mountain slope in full view of witnesses. Residential area vanished under invading snow as homes filled with drifting powder. Skier fled downhill as an avalanche broke loose behind him. Torrential rain engulfed a vehicle as the driver stood stunned beside it.
下雨不下雪，它下泥。这大泥点呢？啊！
Strong wind forced bikers to stop and brace themselves while traffic waited behind. Man struggled to remain upright as wind pushed against him with visible force. Truck skidded on a wet highway and fishtailed between cars, avoiding a crash by luck alone. Dog stole a woman's snow shovel and ran off as she stared in disbelief. Flames burst from snowy ground near trees, creating an eerie contrast of fire and ice. Laptop exploded indoors, sending smoke everywhere as its owner hurled it outside in panic. Woman on a bike crashed into a building and workers rushed to help her and her baby. Sleeping woman startled another by suddenly rising, turning a quiet room into chaos. Dog leapt from a table and scared a seated woman who never saw it coming.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Leashed dog startled a passerby, prompting laughter from both owner and frightened man.
I'm so sorry.
Metal sheet tore loose in strong wind and missed a woman by inches, forcing her to flee indoors. Vase slipped from a shelf and struck a woman's head, ending in quiet frustration. Man grabbed another's groceries and casually walked away, leaving the victim stunned. Dog bumped into a woman eating, knocking food aside, and ruining the moment. Two dogs rushed toward a child outside a house, creating panic before play began.
Stop that. Stop that.
Raccoon chased a girl from her doorway, sending her sprinting down the street. Vacuum blasted dust into the room, filling the air as a woman recoiled in shock. Dog trapped its head in a stool and ran in panic until adults rushed in to free it.
Oh my gosh!
Drifting car slid toward a man parking nearby, sending him running in fear. Massive electrical blast ignited treetops beside a house, sending fiery sparks exploding into the air. Homeowner playfully startled a postman at the doorstep, capturing the courier's priceless reaction.
I know. I'm sorry. I had no idea he was standing behind the door.
Delivery worker paused on the front steps to pet a friendly dog, sharing a heartwarming moment before continuing his route.
Don't worry, I got some time. Buddy. I'll always make some time. I'll always make time for my friends. I'll always make time for my friends. You're such a good friend.
Gym workout ended with a hard fall, followed by a quick recovery and an embarrassed glance around. Car being unloaded from a tow truck suddenly flipped onto the street, leaving the unaware driver stunned. Two cats brawled atop a shelf indoors until the entire unit collapsed, dragging a television down as a disappointed woman watched helplessly. Unattended delivery van began rolling down the street on its own, forcing the driver into a desperate chase that ended in a crash. Young child wandered unexpectedly inside a building, leaving two adults staring in confusion at his sudden appearance.
Let's go.
500 means the taste is not very pleasant, and it's 487. I suggest maybe not drinking holy water.
Yeah.
All right, let's test more. You're about to take coffee.
Car collided with a motorcyclist on the road, leaving the biker visibly shaken. Electric arcs crackled dramatically across a tower as astonished spectators recorded the rare display. Man slipped in a driveway beside a parked car, landing hard and looking dazed afterward. Thick smoke engulfed an entire area as residents stood filming the alarming scene.
Look out by the barn.
Dense smoke drifted across a roadway resembling a flowing river, startling a passing driver. As the smoke cleared, visible cracks spread across the sunlit ground in a dramatic transformation. Strange wave patterns formed across the water's surface, creating an oddly mesmerizing scene. Mobile phones slid rapidly across the ground, drawing gasps as onlookers watched it skid away. Nighttime smoke blanketed a street, leaving residents staring in confusion at the hazy surroundings. Large component from a tower snapped loose and crashed to the ground without injuring anyone. Unusual smoke filled a room, prompting confused glances from those standing inside. Sudden surge of snow swept across a roadside, shocking a driver traveling through the area. Floodwaters overwhelmed homes and battered boats trapped beneath a bridge, leaving residents stunned. Violent winds ripped a shelter into the air near homes, tearing it apart within seconds. Powerful wind and rainstorms smashed roadside shelters, damaging parked cars as homeowners looked on. Vehicle drifted erratically before sinking into rising floodwater, disappearing as bystanders watched helplessly. Terrified dogs bolted from a house during tremors, fleeing outdoors as the ground shook. Earthquake rattled a building violently, shifting cars and equipment inside. School of fish leapt wildly from the water beside a boat, astonishing those fishing nearby. Damaged bridge loomed over moving vehicles as drivers carefully navigated beneath it to avoid disaster. Loose object dropped from a car onto the road, but alert drivers behind skillfully avoided it. Startled woman scrambled to escape as tremors shook the interior around her. Hailstorm blanketed a jungle landscape near buildings, astonishing those witnessing the icy downpour. Out of control, three-wheelers slammed into a building, shocking a nearby observer. Sudden explosion inside a room left a seated man and others staring in disbelief. Snow-covered road sent a vehicle skidding out of control, prompting a nearby officer to run for safety. Hotel guards slipped from a chair while eating, drawing laughter from surrounding guests. Raging floodwaters tore through buildings during heavy rain, leaving communities devastated. Blinding smoke swallowed a roadway, leaving drivers struggling with zero visibility.
Total.
Intense windstorms swept across a snow-covered neighborhood near homes. Icy flood surge advanced through a forested area, covering the landscape in freezing water. Unusual big-mouth fish swam beneath the surface, captivating observers with its striking appearance. Overloaded electrical poles ignited with flames and smoke along a city street as crowds gathered. Man carrying food inside a building slipped and fell hard, nearly injuring his leg as a seated woman watched. Out-of-control truck barreled into a parked vehicle at high speed, leaving both fronts utterly destroyed. Two scooter riders collided head-on in the street, staring at each other in stunned silence afterward. Pedestrian suddenly stood in the middle of a speeding road, freezing both himself and the shocked driver in a split second of danger. Moving truck struck a biker standing nearby, leaving him stunned by the unexpected impact.
Кажется, сейчас будет шок-контент.
Swarm of flies engulfed the area around a tent, creating a disturbing sight that left a man horrified. Man confidently sank 4 consecutive basketball shots while filming himself, turning the court into his personal highlight reel. Out-of-control truck plowed through a roadside stall, reducing it to debris as the shaken driver stopped to inspect the damage. Road crew repaired a massive pothole within hours, while traffic continued flowing, showcasing impressive coordination. Building suddenly collapsed onto the street before horrified onlookers, disappearing into a cloud of dust. Fallen tree crushed a parked tuk-tuk, completely destroying its roof, while the helpless driver stared in disbelief. Heavy truck flipped over in the middle of the road, spilling chaos across the pavement as drivers watched in shock. Speeding vehicle smashed into a gas station, igniting flames that left witnesses frozen in fear. Reversing truck struck a biker on the roadside, damaging the bike and leaving its rider stunned. Snow-covered walls suddenly gave way, collapsing before stunned workers in a dramatic failure. Vehicle carrying a rear load lost control and slammed into a parked car, shocking the driver behind the wheel. Car dropped into a roadside pothole, prompting its furious driver to confront another motorist in frustration. High-speed vehicle rammed into a building, leaving a bystander speechless as the structure's front crumbled. Moving truck collided with a parked one, crushing its own front end in the impact.